Welcome everybody. This is our third and final yoga session. If you missed the first two, I'm sure you can still catch them. The first one was yoga to start your day, a morning routine. And then we had some day yoga or chair yoga, something you could do right at your desk with a solid chair. Solid meaning a non-rolling chair without arms. And then today is our final session for the month of June for self-care, and it's yoga to end your day, a little meditation, just a couple of practices, a couple of postures to help you go to sleep and really melt into the evening with ease and with grace. And I like to do this. I remember I was talking with my previous yoga teacher, and she and I were talking about ways that I could adjust my evening schedule so that I could have a more restful night's sleep and have a more solid end of the day. And she said that a couple of ways to practice that are really focusing on the various aspects of yoga, which isn't just the postures. As you've probably gathered if you've watched any of these classes over the last couple of weeks, the postures are really just one part of yoga. Yoga is a way of life, and yoga incorporates many different tools. So we have the mudras, and we have the postures, the physical postures, we have meditation, and today we'll do a few of each, a few postures, a mudra, and then we'll have a little breathing practice for our meditation. So to begin, we are going to stand up and one of the practices that I like to do, one of the postures that I like to do is tree pose. So tree pose is probably one of the most common poses or postures in yoga. Most people have heard of tree pose. Most people love to practice tree pose because it can be a bit of a challenge, and then when you really gather it and get it, it feels very empowering. But the other part of tree pose that I think most people don't often recognize, and maybe don't even realize why they love it, is that it's very balancing and very grounding. So literally, when you're in tree pose, you're grounding both feet at different times into the ground or to the earth. In the evening, if I were to do these in the evening, I wouldn't probably even pull out my yoga mat, because these are so fairly quick postures, and they're fairly, you're fairly stable without even needing a mat. But of course, you can always pull out your mat if you want to. So in tree pose, I will stand this way so that I can show you with the support of the chair. I'm grounding my feet down into the earth. So I like to think of course, below me right now is a carpet, and then another carpet, and then the ceiling, and then another floor is underneath. So obviously I realize that I'm not directly hitting the earth, but the connection is that anything below us is grounding. And so my feet are grounding down into the floor or into the earth underneath. We'll start on the right side. So I'm going to bring my weight into my right foot. And in tree pose, I always teach that you can take any posture, any variation of this posture that feels best. So on days where, you might be feeling a little sleepier in the evening, or a little less steady, or maybe your day's been kind of tumultuous or unpredictable, it didn't go as planned, then sometimes it's really nice just to start with the most basic, because you're most balanced naturally and most grounded with the toes connected to the floor or the ground. So my left knee is out to the left side, my right foot is grounded, and I'm really pressing the foot into the left foot into the right leg. And I have this chair here, but you may not need the chair. You know, you can hold your hands down by your side. You can bring them into our Anjali Mudra at our heart center. And we'll just take a couple of breaths right here in tree pose. So the other thing I like to remind students is in tree pose, you can look right down, straight ahead at the floor in front of you. So when I say straight ahead, we're not looking down, but we're looking out and down. So I'm going to bring my gaze to maybe about 3 to 4 feet in front of me if there's space, if you have that much space in front of you, and really focus on the breath. And then to release the posture, I'll bring my knee forward first and then place the left foot down. I like to even out the weight between the 2 feet to just bring more balance to both feet. But I can definitely still feel the difference between the left and right side of the body. So then I'm going to switch and I'll do the other side. If you are using a chair or a wall for balance and you just want to, make sure you switch so you can have that prop for assistance or support. So grounding into my left foot now, I'll place my right foot to my left ankle. The other options for this pose are you can bring the foot to the calf right below the knee. Don't ever put your foot right on the side of the knee, because as your leg straightens and your knee might start to lock, you could actually harm yourself. You could hurt your knee. And we're not trying to do that. So we're really trying to avoid the side of the knee. So maybe I bring my foot to my left side, the side of my calf, or you may see sometimes people going into the full tree with the right foot to the left inner thigh. Now again, the chair can be a needed or useful prop, or you can just let go. Try it out, right? If you need the chair and you're not feeling super balanced today, you can just hold right back to it. So either one of the three, hands to the heart, taking about 3 full breaths. And then release your right foot down. Actually bring your right knee forward first and then release your right foot down. Evening out the weight. And then the second pose we'll do is legs up the wall. So legs up the wall is basically the same as half shoulder stand. So if hopefully you have a wall space, like a clear wall space. Often in our homes or in our offices, it can be difficult to find that space where there's a free wall. But if you can, what you want to do is scoot yourself up to the edge of the wall, place your feet against the wall, and then just walk your feet up, all the way up until you can rest your legs against the wall, and then maybe you can even scoot a little closer. And again, another very grounding posture. Hands can rest on your belly. The soles of the feet pressed up to the wall, up to the ceiling rather. And 3 full breaths. And then to release, bring your feet back to the wall and then walk yourself down. Roll over to one side and then use your top arm, your top hand, to lift yourself up. And then we'll return to a seated posture. You can, sit on the floor if that's comfortable. I'm going to sit on this little ottoman here just for a little added lift or added support. And feel free to either keep your feet grounded on the floor or come to a cross-legged position. We'll finish with a breathing practice for our meditation. This is called alternate nostril breathing. And alternate nostril breathing is a breathing practice or style that has many different variations. I'll show you the way that I learned, and of course, if something suits you better, you can try that down the road. So how we begin alternate nostril breathing is by bringing our left hand down to our left knee, and then bring your right hand up towards your nose. So in alternate nostril, we use our thumb, our right thumb, and the two, the middle finger and the index fingers, the two fingers closest to the thumb. So it's really these three. The other two are just kind of tucked down. And there's variations for this too with how you use your hands, but this is how I learned and how I really like to practice this way. So the other thing you can do is just use the index finger and the thumb and alternate that as well. So I may interchange that during the practice just out of habit. Okay, so we're going to begin by closing the right nostril with the thumb and then taking an inhale through the left nostril. And then we'll close the left nostril with either one or two fingers and then let the breath out through the right nostril. And then we inhale through the right nostril, and then we close it, exhale out the left, inhale through the left, close it, exhale out the right. So I'll guide you through. Just try to follow along with me. Sometimes it's easier, I find, to listen without watching, because the watching might be confusing. If you listen to my cues and to my voice, I think you'll be just fine. So let's take a full breath in and out to begin. And the other thing is, if you want to, if you have a tissue handy, sometimes it's good to clear your nose, because you will find that you can actually feel the congestion in your nose and your sinuses when you're doing this practice. All right, so beginning by closing the right nostril, take an inhale through the left, close the left, exhale out the right. Inhale through the right, close, exhale left. Inhale left, close, exhale right. Inhale right, close, exhale left. Inhale left, close, exhale right. Inhale right, close, exhale left. Inhale left, close, exhale right. Inhale right, close, exhale left. Inhale left, close, exhale right. Inhale right, close, and exhale left. And release your hand onto the right knee. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes or bring your gaze up So pretty quickly, I know that when I practice this breath, this alternate nostril breathing, I feel very quickly, I feel much more calm. My breathing starts to become more even and steady. If I was feeling a little, unbalanced, or maybe something had made me upset or anxious, I start to feel like I have more control of my breath. This type of breathing practice is really good for helping people with anxiety. I think it's really good for helping with sleep. It really balances all personalities, and maybe one day we'll do a class on the various types of doshas or archetypes of people. And depending on your archetype, some practices in breathing as well as physical postures are recommended. This particular breathing practice, alternate nostril, is good for all archetypes, all personalities, all body types. So give it a try. I hope you enjoyed this quick and hopefully simple evening yoga and meditation practice. Take care.